Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Houston and I did my project on disability discrimination. What is classified as a disability according to the federal government is essentially a person can show that they are disabled if they have a physical or mental condition that substantially limits a major life activity. What they classify as a major life activity would be you're walking, talking, seeing, hearing, learning, driving, essentially being able to take care of yourself. A person may also be disabled if they have a history of a disability, which such as cancer being in remission. Also, a person may be disabled if he is believed to have a physical or mental impairment that is not transitory. So essentially, if it's going to be lasting 6 months or less. And it's a minor, essentially, impairment that, it's something that is going to have a minor impact. The first law that was really available to protect Americans with disabilities was the Federal Vocational Rehabilitation Act. It was the only law prior to the ADA that protected handicapped individuals. However, it only protected the individuals that were employed by a federal financed employer or an employer that had a federal government contract over $2,500. So private, employers, there wasn't any protection for those individuals. It was only if you were associated with the federal government. Two cases that came about with the 1973 Rehabilitation Act. The first one was Buckingham versus the U.S. It was determined that transferring a postal worker with aids from Mississippi to California for better medical care, it actually constituted a reasonable accommodation. So to have that accommodation, the employer actually had to move the employee to a different state to allow for better medical care and to pursue therapy or treatment. Tuck versus HCA Health Services of Tennessee. The hospital actually violated the Rehabilitation Act by firing a nurse without first trying to establish a proper accommodation. The nurse was unable to lift patients or heavy objects due to a back injury, and the hospital never offered an opportunity for a reduced workload, and they were unable to show that that accommodation would have placed an undue hardship on the hospital. With the Americans with Disabilities Act, it actually was established July 26, 1990 by President George H.W. Bush. The ADA makes it illegal for employers to discriminate against qualified job applicants as well as established employees based on their physical and mental disabilities. This law also requires employers to provide reasonable accommodations to applicants and employees who are in need due to their disabilities, unless it would cause an undue hardship. Title I of the ADA is what addresses the employment. However, there are a total of 6 titles that address discrimination against individuals with disabilities, ranging from public service to telecommunication services for hearing and speech impaired individuals. The Americans with Disabilities Act targets the private employers, but it also focuses on the state and local governments, employment agencies, and labor unions. So it encompasses everyone that could have any part in the employment. Effective as of July 26 of 1992, the statute became effective for employers that had 25 or more employees. And then in 1994, they lowered that down to if the employer has 15 or more employees. The Americans with Disabilities Act one of the cases that we see is with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which is who handles the complaints. They lobbied against AIC Security Investigations Ltd. And Ruth Brodelac. This was actually the first jury heard case, and the allegations that were brought against AIC Security was for discharging an employee because he was battling brain cancer. He was the executive director of AIC, and he was diagnosed with the inoperable brain cancer, and due to his treatments and the illness, he had various symptoms that he suffered from. The owner of the company was well aware of his illness, and when she took over the company, she fired him. The jury awarded $22,000 in back pay, $50,000 in compensatory damages, $250,000 in punitive damages against AIC, and then another $250,000 against the actual owner. However, there is a cap on the ADA statutory cap on damages, so they actually ended up lowering it down to $150,000. Another case that we see was the EEOC versus Spleen of Denville. It's actually essentially Wendy's case. The case involved a restaurant employee that had Down syndrome, and he was repeatedly harassed by both management and coworkers. He was subject to profanities being screamed at him, being called stupid. He was also physically assaulted. One instance, he had a knife held to his stomach. He's had ice put down his clothes. He was shoved and had water being thrown in his face. Ultimately, there was a settlement where the employee received $90,000, which was actually put into a special needs trust. That way he would be able to still receive his, essentially his government benefits, such as SSI. The changes that we see over time with the amendments, there have been amendments made to the ADA in order to accommodate all aspects of disabilities. There are exclusions and exceptions that have been established, such as illegal drug use. If the individual is still using the illegal drugs, they would not qualify for the ADA. However, if they have their stopped use and are in a rehabilitation program, they would then qualify. Homosexuality, sexual behavior disorder, compulsive gambling, kleptomania, pyromania, those are all not protected under the ADA. The EEOC updates enforcement guides periodically to maintain updated requirements for employers, and all of these are online resources that are available for the employers to understand and better adhere to the law. The ADA protects all individuals who have a disability, even if that disability is not readily apparent to an employer. The ADA also protects disabilities that may arise from pregnancy, and discrimination in the workplace has not stopped. Current cases show that discrimination against individuals with disabilities is still a significant issue. The ADA doesn't just focus on private employers. Everyone, regardless of their position, is protected. And a disability is not something that you are always born with. A disability can happen at any point in someone's life. The ADA is there to protect everyone, regardless of when and how the disability started. Some of the current cases, one that happened in 2014 was the EEOV versus Hill County Farms, Henry's Turkey Services. The jury awarded $240 million for 32 men with intellectual disabilities that were discriminated against by not being paid, severe verbal and physical harassment, unequal terms and conditions of employment. They were also subject to restricted freedom of movement. They had deplorable and substandard housing, and they also lacked adequate medical care when it was needed. This jury's verdict is the largest ever obtained by the EEOC. The amount awarded for compensatory and punitive damage was later reduced to the $1.6 million according to the statutory cap. The final judgment was added an earlier court award of unpaid wages was entered for the total judgment in a case of $3.7 million. One of the most current was established 2/27 of this year, and it's the United States versus Mark Bassoon with Carolina County Commissioner of Revenue's office, and he failed to provide a reasonable accommodation for an employee based on her respiratory impairment, and then decided to terminate her based on that. The United States versus Laner Technical College was filed back on November 4th of 2019. The allegations against Laner Technical College were discrimination against a complainant based on disability regarding discharge, compensation, and other terms, conditions, and privileges of her employment, specifically her being removed from the work schedule for an entire school semester, thus reducing her hours and compensation to 0 because of her multiple sclerosis. Doing so, the United States actually alleges that the defendant terminated the complainant because of her disability, since they took her off of the schedule. In conclusion, the progress from the Federal Vocational Rehabilitation Act of 1973 to the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 was a much-needed improvement. The ADA is there to protect everyone with a disability, and it is still relevant today. There is enough ambiguity in the ADA that it allows for protection for new disabilities that may not be fully understood at this time, such as fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, migraines, etc. There are resources out there for employers to better educate themselves so they can avoid disability discrimination in their organization. And overall, the ADA has established guidelines and set standards that all employers can follow. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.